Hello, I'm Erica Ramirez here with Seth, a art director with a big I, and we're going to do this interview.
This is a legit interview.
Absolutely, this is so legit. So, first question is, what is your current job title and what is your position? Describe it for me, please.
Well, I'm actually the creative director at Big I. So I guess the easiest way to explain that is I lead the look, the direction, the tone, the design of pretty much everything that comes through the agency, all client work. I work really closely with a team of designers that I was influential in assembling to make sure that we're all working towards the same end goal, which is a specific design style that's rooted in the strategic thinking that our strategy department provides us with. So it's finding that balance between aesthetic and great design, and also design that actually works and that is backed by strategic thinking and goal-driven goals that have been established in the brief and in the beginning of the campaign or whatever we're working on.
And you're an ad agent, or like advertising agency, right?
Yes, an advertising agency, full service advertising agency is what we like to call it, or fully integrated, meaning that we do everything from traditional to digital. So that spans print, TV, radio, outdoor, and it also goes into web design, social media marketing, search engine optimization, digital marketing, online advertising, pretty much you name it, we do it. Also video production, branding.
That is a lot of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're like the artistic part of Mad Men or something.
Yeah, that's kind of,
I love the office setup
that was
and
very
everything.
glamorized, but...
Oh yeah, it's a TV show, but
yeah.
It's cool. It's really awesome.
The golden age of advertising back then.
How did you get this job?
Well, I've been in the business since 2002, and I actually started as an intern at an agency on the account side, the account department, the account management side, which is the client side, the client-facing side. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I wanted to be on the creative side, but that was the only way in to any agency here in Orlando. So I just took it. And I learned a lot by being on that side of the table, but as soon as an opening came available on the creative side, I like went for
Jumped on it, yeah.
And I talked to the owner, and I was like, please let me do this. I'm really good. I promise you. I showed him some of my work. And he was like, wow, and you've been here all along, so yeah, let's give it a shot instead of hiring someone new. And that was like either late 2002 or early 2003, I became the copywriter at this agency. So I was writing everything from recruitment ads to campaigns to RFPs and proposals, like you name it, I wrote it. And I did that for a few years, and at the same company, I just continually got promoted. Eventually, I was the associate creative director at that company. So from intern to associate creative director.
That's a big jump.
Yeah. But I mean, it took a while. It took probably about 5 years, 5 or 6 years. So went there, remained the associate creative director for another 2 years. I was there a total of 7. The recession hit, and the company folded, went bankrupt. So for 2 years, I did a lot of freelancing, freelance writing, freelance designing, then made my way. Justin Ram, the founder of Big I, he found me through referrals, and he ended up hiring me. And he didn't actually hire me as creative director in the beginning. He hired me as kind of like an art director slash copywriter, someone who could do it all, but eventually he promoted me to creative director in
And
2012.
is creative director like a step up from art director as well?
Yeah, I mean, technically it is, yes, but creative director and art director work very closely together. Ultimately, the creative director is responsible for all of the creative that comes out of the design department. Art director works more closely with the designers. However, we do not have an art director right now, so I'm assuming both roles.
Okay. So like you are more in charge of the designs and everything, and an art director, if they were here, would be like making sure everyone's on top of their stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Like the artist manager or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they would be more like directly involved with the designer and mentoring them and challenging them. But I do a lot of that as a creative director as well.
Look at you go. Excellent. What do you like most about your job?
I like that every day is a challenge, every day is different. Constantly working on new projects. I mean, one day you'll be working on a project related to healthcare, like a hospital, and then the next day we'll jump on something related to craft beer or wood flooring or real estate or branding a new condo, or it's just all over the place, and that's what keeps it exciting.
Yeah, it doesn't get old.
Nothing is mundane. I think if I had a job that was just the same old every day, I would just go batshit crazy.
Yeah. Totally. And you have the freedom to do whatever you want, pretty much.
Yeah,
to help
and
represent that company.
creating is like what I love to do. I've always loved to do that since I was a kid. So when you're done with the creative process and going through all that stuff and seeing it actually like completed, it makes you really happy.
Yeah.
So those are two things that I really like about the field of advertising and about my job.
Awesome. So obviously you work in a team environment. Can you kind of describe how the team works?
Yeah. Well, there's multiple departments in our agency and in most agencies. We've got a new business department, like a sales team. We've got a strategy department, a digital department, an account management department, and of course the design department. Typically, we at Big Eye especially, we all work together. It's not this segmented system. Although like the teams themselves are segmented, we collaborate and work a lot together. So the account team works closely with the design team. The account team crafts like a creative brief, and they craft the scope of the project, and then that scope and that creative brief is translated to the design team. We meet and we discuss what's the final deliverable, what does it look like, what goals are we trying to achieve, and that's when the strategy department comes in, help us define demographics and goals and objectives that we are striving to achieve, and then we go out and we create. And then once we're done with the creation, we pitch it to the team, and we check box every little thing to make sure that we're meeting all those goals and objectives, and that we're meeting the details that are outlined in the brief. So it's working with a lot of different types of people too. Designers are one type of person, and the account team is a completely different animal, and so is the strategy team. We all have different personalities.
Yeah.
Sometimes those personalities clash a little bit, but the trick is like understanding how to work well with each other. And I think we do that really well here.
It must be really fun. I saw one guy that had like a bottle of whiskey on his office. That's awesome. Like whatever everyone likes.
Yeah, alcohol is always around.
Oh yeah,
in the
it's
agency
inspiring.
world.
It's inspiring. It
Yeah.
helps creative flow. So the team. Okay, you kind of answered that question. it's like how the team building impacts like your work. It's pretty much how you do your work, so it's pretty essential. Is there anything you don't like about your job, or something that you would like least, or?
Well, I have to be honest, like, a lot of people don't last in advertising. Like 10 years, they're done. It's a very, very stressful business. 9 to 5, that does not exist in advertising. It's more like as soon as you wake up and when you go to sleep. That's the advertising world. So that's what I dislike about my job. However, it's also what I kind of like about it. That it's a little all over the place, and it just fits my personality well. And then I think everyone or anyone who's been in advertising probably questions how much longer am I going to last in advertising?
What is my life? What am I doing?
Yes, because it's a challenge. I mean, you're constantly getting like your work is basically just like destroyed pretty much every day by clients.
Yeah.
Or internally by the account team or other teams. So a lot of times designers and writers and creative people especially, they just get this, they feel like they're punched in the stomach every day, and that takes a toll on you. The trick is to understand that you can't feel so strongly about work design.
Yeah.
You have to have a creative outlet outside of work
to
fulfill you.
Yeah.
Sometimes work does fulfill you, sometimes it does not. Because your original idea is never the final idea. And that hurts sometimes. Because it's like, I hate it now. I don't like what it has become because 10 other people have contributed to this idea, and now it lacks impact. It's not the original idea, it's crap now.
Yeah. It's humbling, I guess.
Very.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never think about it that way, but
yeah, and there's a fine balance of defending the work to a client and then giving in to, because they are the person who is paying.
Yeah, gotta give them what they want at the end of the day, even if it sucks.
Well, the trick is to convince them what they want is what you're giving them.
Yeah. That's something that I've always enjoyed is like, I do a little bit of work for some of my friends. They're trying to start their own company, and I help them make logos and stuff. And like they'll show me like what they want, like you don't want that, and then I'll try to like help them, and we like come to
well, that's
an agreement.
Why, the subjective opinions of like a group of people or a committee of people is really just it shouldn't be the basis to determine if design is successful or not. And that's why we bring a lot of strategy in. We do a lot of research to make sure like the demographic, the target market that we're going after, that they are going to respond to this. Like some people are like, well, I don't like the color yellow. Well, you know what? Your target market does like the color yellow.
Yeah.
So your subjective opinion is not valid here, unless you're the only one who wants to buy the product. Do you want to have mass market appeal to the millennial generation and live in this zip code, blah, blah, blah? Or do you want to be the only person who likes it?
Yeah. So you're not going to buy every single one of those, are you?
Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it. What was your major in college? Something
Advertising.
Advertising? Okay.
Which was all over the place because I started in agronomy, which is crop science. I went from agronomy.
Want to be a farmer in Louisiana?
Yes, well, that's my family's been in that.
That's awesome. So they have like land over there.
Sugarcane farming. Yeah, so I thought
That's really
that's
cool.
what I was going to do, or not farming exactly, but kind of like the agribusiness part of it. And then I went to landscape architecture, and then I went to construction management, and then I found advertising. So I majored in advertising and have a minor in construction management and business.
What would you suggest where you are now as far as like what's necessary to learn and major in to do something like this?
Honestly, everything I learned in college is like bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like experience and...
Yeah, I mean, it's a great foundation, but for my career itself, it's all experience and living every day in the agency. that's the true education.
I like that. I like how you say things. It's awesome. It's super inspiring. I'm serious. Okay, so versus like being on the computer and interaction with customers, where is the balance? Like, what do you do more?
Unfortunately, as a creative director, I don't get to constantly create like the designers.
Yeah.
And sometimes I regret that in my position, but I really value my position as well. So a lot of the time I am in front of clients pitching new work, meeting with clients and discovery meetings and, with the sales team, because they like to talk to the creative person. So it's probably maybe 60-40, 60% away from my office, 40% in my office. And when I'm in my office, I'm actually like reviewing the work of other designers. I mean, meetings take over my life.
Is this your first meeting today?
No.
Oh, geez. Oh, my goodness. Lots of coffee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love coffee.
Where does your inspiration come from?
What's a cheesy answer? I just find inspiration everywhere. However, I think a lot of my inspiration comes from just like observing pop culture. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I have a good pulse on like upcoming trends, or like I see trends before other people see trends. Yeah. And I think I find that by just watching people and just being very observant of what's happening like everywhere, not just like in the Orlando neighborhoods, but outside in like New York and LA and like all the big cities, and like boutiques and web design, and how in music too. It's just I guess that's where my inspiration comes from.
Yeah, I always wonder like why someone chooses to represent themselves the way they do, and just interesting to see the trends.
Yeah,
like
I think nature has a lot of inspiration on me as well.
Oh yeah,
because I grew up in a very nature-oriented, had a nature-oriented childhood, and I'm still very like connected to nature, and I love like being alone, like in the middle of the wilderness. I think it's so just freeing and peace and quiet.
Yeah, it's like a meditation.
Totally.
It's healthy for the soul just to embrace what's around you and to be around somewhere beautiful.
Yeah, so that's another inspiring component.
I totally feel you on that. Love being in nature. Last question. Is there a next step after this job? Do you see yourself doing something after this, or is this your main project?
Well, right now I'm like giving it like 100%. So I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow. Like I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing.
I'd say it's a good thing because it's kind of what got you here. In
Yeah,
a way,
exactly.
Because you were freelancing, doing whatever, and because you put yourself out there,
yeah,
people wanted you.
Yeah, it's been a long, unplanned journey, actually. I mean, not long. It's not like old or anything, but I'm getting older. But I've been in the business for 15 years, so I guess it's pretty long. Because in advertising, 15 is like dog years. Like you multiply it by 7.
Yeah,
and
seriously. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, people just want the job right away. You really have to put your time in. You have to get experience.
Yeah, that's a big issue that I have with a lot of people that I interview with, a lot of students that come out of school. They like instantly, like within a year or two, want to be like an art director. I'm like, dude, like, just chill. Take it slow. You think you know everything, but you really don't. There's a lot more to learn.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Thank you very much.